to all our viewers and listeners. This is episode 7 of VXI Conversations, and I'm your host, Jamie. So excited to be here once again. Let's talk about what we discussed the last time. We discussed the amazing stories of career progression from two of VXI Davao's team leaders. If you love their inspirational stories, then surely you would love our guests for today as well. The first one is an operations manager, while the other is an associate trainer. Here to share their uplifting career success stories, please welcome Mo and Glens. Hello, Mo. Hello, Glens.
Hi, Jamie. Thank you for having me.
Thank
Hi,
you
Jamie.
so
Hi,
much
everyone.
for finding the time. Hello, Glens, and hello, Mo, once again. I believe Mo is signing in from Davao. And Glens, where are you signing in from again?
I'm here at VXI MOA.
Okay. Again, thank you for finding the time to join us for this episode. Before we even jump into this discussion, why don't you tell our listeners and viewers more about yourself and, of course, your roles at VXI Philippines?
Yeah.
Let's start off
Hi,
with
guys.
Mo.
Yeah, sure. It's Mo. My name. Some of my friends also call me Al. I go by that name when I was in school. So I'm one of the
Mhm.
operations managers here in Davao, specifically in Philcris Centrale.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that, Mo. What about you, Glens?
Hi, my name is Glenda Balagapo. I am actually an astro trainer, originally from VXI Panorama too, but I'm here at MOA to launch a new account. So, yeah.
Exciting times, right, Glans? Well, thank you for sharing your respective roles in VXI and, of course, telling us more about yourselves. Today, we're going to discuss your inspiring, successful stories. So, let's start off by asking this very essential question, I believe. What does the word success mean to you? Mo, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, well, Jamie, it goes without saying that we as humans always seek for what is better. We think that being better means being successful. To me, success is subjective. To me, success is about loyalty. And that
Mhm.
someone that you have to be loyal to has to be yourself. Being able to find purpose and happiness in whatever you do, may it be leading people or finding yourself alone at a peaceful place. You have to define what do you want for yourself. Success is when you stop competing against others and instead focusing on yourself to do better and be better. If you are loyal to your personal goals, you define your own success.
I love that. So many different facets to that answer that our viewers and listeners can learn from. Again, success is subjective. Find out what success means for you. And then I love your perspective on loyalty, Mo, wherein you said you have to be loyal to yourself and your goals once you determine what your goals are. So thank you once again for sharing that. What about you, Glens? What does success mean to you?
Well, success for me, Jamie, is being able to do what you love unapologetically and also achieving a goal that you have. It can be getting the body that you want or buying something that you've been saving up for because you know you worked hard for it. So, as simple as that.
Mhm. I love that though. I am in complete agreement. Here, Glens, you have to make sure that you do what you love unapologetically. Thank you for sharing that. Although you see that as simple, I think that's one of the basic things in life which truly can lead you to happiness. Now, you both have had very successful careers in VXI. So let's talk about this. What was the one defining moment in your career that made you feel successful? Starting off with Mo.
Yeah, Jamie. So I joined the company in 2013 at VXI Robinson site. Initially, I applied for an IT position, but during that time, the job was filled in, and I had to wait until the job is hiring. Um,
Mhm.
so instead, I applied as an agent for one of the hiring accounts. So during my training days, I asked my leaders for a piece of advice, and I was told this that loyalty is key to success to succeed in BPO. So I took that very simple advice. I told myself that VXI has to be my first and last BPO company. To me, being able to live by that commitment to myself, I find happiness and success in it.
Hmm. And again, it goes back to the loyalty you mentioned in your first answer, Mo. Thank you for sharing that. And I love that you think this is your last home, this is your last company. And, I'm sure that you're just going to keep soaring in VXI and keep inspiring others and leading others as well. What about you, Glens? What was that one defining moment in your career that made you feel successful?
Well, for me, I started as an agent way back 2019 of November, and I just was recently promoted. That was like May this year. So when I was in training, I know that I wanted to be a trainer, just like my former trainer. So I guess
Hmm.
the defining moment for me was when I handled my first class, because that's when I realized this is what trainer is. This is what training is like. So it definitely gave me the feels that with the students learning, listening to you intently, and
Hmm.
there is like a progress with what you're teaching. So yeah,
Hmm.
that's a defining moment for me.
And you definitely are making, or you're making an impact on so many individuals every day and in their careers as well, just like that trainer of yours 2 years ago or so. And kudos to you as well, Glance, because you started in VXI in 2019, right? And look at you now. You were able to make your goal a reality, and you're now training classes as well. So
Yes.
again, very inspiring. Thank you for sharing that. Now, it is known that, whatever you achieve in life, whatever milestone you achieve, there will always be challenges and struggles that come with it. So, were there any that you both had to face? And if so, can you share those with us? Mo, what challenges and struggles did you have to face to be able to get to where you're at now?
I had a lot. Just to tell you one. It was back in 2014. When I had a short-lived promotion as a subject matter expert, because the account had to lay off people. I had enticing offers from other companies, but leaving VXI was not, part of my options. I trusted that VXI would take care of me as how it takes care of its people, and it did. I was
Mm-hmm.
offered a job for a different account, but that has to come with denouncing my position and I have to start all over again as an agent. But I didn't mind that because I know my personal goals, and if I remain loyal to it, more successes will start to unfold ahead. When you think that things are starting to get better, challenges are also getting difficult, and that's the time when you know that you have to step up and live above
Mm-hmm.
those adversities.
All right. That's when it's going to push you to really give it your best to be able to surpass it. Again, very inspiring, Mo, how you were humble enough and loyal enough to know what was best for you at that time. And you stuck to what you said earlier on, where you're loyal to the goals you've defined for yourself. And look at where it took you. And I know a lot of listeners and viewers out there, and even, myself, we all can learn from that, being patient enough and aware enough to know that, to trust the process and know that it will take you to your goals if you just continue to power through. What about you, Glens? What struggles and challenges did you have to face in order to be where you're at right now?
Well, I had my fair share of failures and disappointments as well. Originally, applied last January 2021, but then got delayed because there was actually a notice to explain that it got served on time. I was under the
Mm-hmm.
impression that I was already cleansed December of 2020. So I had to wait 2 months for it to be cleansed. And then
Mm-hmm.
luckily there was still the training position, as a trainer position post, but that was actually for Panorama One. So
Mm-hmm.
I applied, but unfortunately didn't get accepted, which made me actually heartbroken, and I was in the
Okay.
brink of resigning. And then there was another post that opened, and that was for Panorama 2, which is my original site. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I applied, give my best, and yeah, I'm here.
And you
That
got
was it.
it. So,
Yes.
Glenn's, I think a lot of viewers and listeners out there can learn from that process you went through, where you said you got heartbroken because you didn't get what you applied for. what made you surpass that feeling? What made you overcome that?
Well, I just went back to the time wherein I mentioned when I was in training as a trainer, as a trainee. I mean, I wanted to really be an athlete trainer, so I just went back
Mm-hmm.
on that like thought that I have or the goal that I have, and persisted.
Okay.
That was
So
it.
be persistent, know your goal. Thank you so much for sharing that, Glens. And again, Mo, your story as well. Before we wrap up our discussion for today, what inspiring words do you have for those listening in on this conversation? If they're thinking about joining the BPO industry, what could you tell these listeners and these viewers? Mo?
Yeah, thank you for that, Jamie. I love that question. And I tell people this, that it's not always rainbows and butterflies everywhere. There are always going to be ups and downs, and just like climbing a mountain, the ones who are likely to succeed are the ones who would take the leap in between those, pitfalls and blockages. And just
Mm-hmm.
like sailing the seas, we don't just jump off when the sailing gets rough.
I love
For
that.
me, in between those years, I had multiple chances to look for better options, but I kept on
Mm-hmm.
choosing the best. And I know what's best for my own success. Last August marked my 8th year in the company, and I never regretted choosing VXI. Loyalty is indeed the key to succeed.
I love that. Thank you so much, Mo. Again, congratulations, by the way, for achieving 8 years in VXI. You're true to your first answer on this podcast, where you said loyalty is important to you and also loyalty to yourself and your goals. And I love what you said, where you said you don't have to jump off ship if it becomes rough seas. You have to just remain steadfast and persevere and just focused on your goals. And look at where you are now, Mo. Congratulations once again for being in VXI for 8 years. Now, what about you, Glens? You've also had to face challenges and struggles, and yet here you are doing the job that you dreamed of doing and that you identified as the career path you wanted, even when you were just a trainee in 2019. What would you like to share with our listeners and viewers as a source of inspiration?
Well, what I would like to say to everyone who is listening is that in the pursuit of you achieving your dreams, there will be bumps and cracks in the road. It will not be a smooth sailing journey. So do not be disheartened. Instead, focus on what your goal is, and remember that a dream delayed is not a dream denied, and also that there's always a right timing for everything. So believe on that.
Just like what you went through, right, Glens? I'm going to keep telling myself that a dream delayed is not a dream denied. Thank you so much, Mo and Glens. You both are so inspiring. And your success in the BPO industry, especially in VXI, I'm sure will lead the way for those listening in and also guide them and help them understand how they can also achieve that success for their respective careers. We appreciate your time with us today. Thank you once again for being with us and for sharing your unbelievable stories with all our followers. It just goes to show that with the right combination of hard work, passion, and determination, you can be whatever you want to be. To our avid listeners, if you want to be successful like Mo and Glenn's, all you have to do is apply for the many career opportunities at VXI. Bonus points as well if you have good English communication skills and if you're a graduate of at least high school old curriculum or senior high school. Check out VXI's career openings on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok by typing the keywords VXIPH on the search field. And for good measure, you may also email your application at careersph@vxi.com. Thank you once again, Mo and Glens, for sharing your stories. That
Thank
wraps up
you.
our episode for today. But don't you worry, we have more in store for all of you. Till the next one, this is Jamie signing off. Take care and stay safe, everybody. Bye.